I just want to deal in fact, because there is so much speculation out there, and there is zero evidence that Hunter Biden or Joe Biden did anything wrong here.
We should note, again, and you and I have said this in the air many times, there is no evidence that Joe Biden was, involved in any wrongdoing.
Of course, I want to note that there is no evidence that Joe Biden or Hunter Biden has done anything wrong.
I just want to reiterate.
And let's be clear for the viewers.
There is no evidence Biden did anything wrong.
I'll note again, because it's important.
There is no, I repeat, no.
There is no evidence that either Biden did anything illegal.
There's been no evidence. There was no evidence.
There's no evidence. There is no evidence.
There is not an iota of evidence.
No evidence Biden did anything wrong.
There's really
no evidence
that Joe Biden
did anything wrong.
Nobody's ever accused there's no
evidence whatsoever that Joe
Biden did
anything
wrong. Got that?
Joe Biden did nothing wrong.
Hunter Biden did nothing wrong.
Biden's secret emails.
A really fishy story.
The Post claimed that the emails were found on a laptop computer that was brought to a repair shop in Delaware in the spring of 2019.
The FBI is now investigating whether those alleged Hunter Biden emails are actually connected to a larger foreign intelligence operation.
They may be related to a foreign intelligence operation.
Foreign intelligence operation.
Foreign intelligence.
Foreign intelligence.
Foreign intelligence operation.
For all we know, these emails are made up.
The information found on the laptop may be part of a Russian disinformation campaign.
Part of a Russian disinformation effort.
Described by many intelligence experts as having hallmarks. All the hallmarks
of a Russian
disinformation.
Russian disinformation.
Disinformation campaign.
This is a classic example of the right-wing media machine.
Don't drag the intelligence community into this. Hunter Biden's laptop is not part of some Russian disinformation campaign. The intelligence community doesn't believe that because there's no intelligence that supports that.
Oh, welcome to the Bill Mason Show. How you doing, Bill?
I'm doing well. I'm prepared. I just went and stocked up for the nor'easter that's headed up my way.
So, yeah, I see it snowing in the back.
Yeah. And, it's just part of December. We're going to get a snowy December, and that's cool.
Right, definitely. So that video was from 2019, 2020, telling everybody there's nothing going on here. And then they switched it to the Russia collusion thing again.
Yep.
And then now they agree that since FBI is now investigating Hunter Biden, it is for sure thing going on.
Absolutely. And we knew it was a for sure thing back then. So we were, there, like I said, I always say there's shows if you want to go back and research. But the thing is, it's kind of like a Chinese propaganda machine where they have a very similar thing where I think this country's moving in a direction towards where when you turn on the TV, it's a 90% chance that you're going to just sit through bullshit because these people that just repeat the propaganda over and over and over again, it's to the point where the American people we're scurrying now. There are people leaving even Fox News because of what they did. We just want some truthful evidentiary type stuff to watch. And it's getting harder and harder to find. It's harder on the internet. As I was doing research for tonight's show, I'm going through probably 15, 20 pages worth of it. It's almost like they're cutting and pasting the same thing over and over. Fact check, Snopes, USA Today, PolitiFact, all this stuff. Everything I look up, I got to weed through pages and pages and pages of that crap until I finally get an article from a news source or something. So, I mean, this is the world we live in where we're slowly becoming like this. The only thing we have to feed on is the propaganda. And, it's almost like we have a state controlled media like China.
We do, or North Korea. I mean, we need to just take back this country and let's lock them all up.
There's only one way. And it's bad. And, even our founders even said from time to time, the corruption's going to overtake us. And I think we're all witnessing the corruption level. We're watching people that could have an effect on stopping corruption bow out and not get their hands dirty. We're watching people that are neck deep in corruption basically become electors and get to cast votes. I mean, we have a video of that later. I mean, we are witnessing where it's like, you don't matter. Truth doesn't matter. Facts don't matter. Evidence doesn't matter. Taking your stuff to court doesn't matter because the court can just say, I don't want to hear it. And and that's it. I mean, we're all watching the same thing, I hope.
Well, I feel like we're in some Rocky movie fight. You know, we've been beaten around. The Republicans and the conservatives have been beaten for the last 12 rounds, and I'm hoping and praying Rocky comes back and hammers. What do you think?
Because and also too, if this was, Rocky, we don't have impartial judges.
No.
Like, you're trying to score. Like, the thing about conservatism that we always talk about is that we have a set of principles. Like, you can be a bad person and screw up, and you could be a politician and not do everything right. But as long as you fall back into those principles and you take your lumps and you can move on from there. Like, the weird thing about the left is they want to punish everyone for just having the conservative ideology. Once again, this is like China, where they started in our, I want to say the academics have been infiltrated. So they start in college and then they run down this slow line of where America's bad, socialism's good, communism's good. And then you have a bunch of these degree holding, American hating, idiot Democrats that think they're doing a service to this country by voting for its demise.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It doesn't make sense. And we have a video of Secretary of State Pompeo talking about the infiltration of China. Of course, Hunter and Joe and his whole family has taken money from China, so they're bought and paid for. Let's take a look and see what Pompeo said.
Students from China at American universities also live in fear that their families back home will be arrested, will be interrogated, tortured, or worse because of the things they say in an American classroom. But look, the CCP doesn't just target Chinese nationals. They want to influence American students as well. Professors and administrators too. Look, they know that left-leaning college campuses are rife with anti-Americanism and present easy targets for their anti-American messaging. That's why they planted Confucius Institutes on our campuses. And under President Trump, our State Department has made very clear these Confucius Institutes are literally up to no good. Many have gone away. Many campuses have seen that, and they've chosen to close down these institutes. But right here in Georgia, Wesleyan College still has one in Macon. Look, it's why there are groups on campuses called Chinese Student Scholars Association here too. They're directed and almost always funded by the Chinese embassy or a local Chinese consulate. Its purpose, to keep tabs on students and to press pro-Beijing causes.
There we go. So yeah, I mean, it's the liberals on the left, they want a Chinese model, I believe.
And that, I can't imagine. We live now where we have access to the information. Like, if you don't know that the CCP harvests organs from people against their will, if you don't know that they imprison almost 1 million, I think it might be over 1 million Uyghurs, which are the equivalent of like somebody who practices Islam in China. Right. People that are Christians get persecuted every day. People get kidnapped and they never show up again. Your dad might
nets
just
on factories.
Yeah, they have suicide nets. So like, these people have no recourse. Like, they live in a world where there's no court system. They can't seek any kind of remedy if there's an injustice. And they live under this. And then we're watching this country slowly, very slowly, but I mean, the inevitable seems to be under like a Biden administration. He's already putting these people from Facebook and Google into his administration, and they basically lay cover for him. Yeah. And I mean, the world now is becoming like the imaginary world where all the people with morals and the thing that we think is there, the freedom and the Constitution, and it's not. It's really not there. Like, if someone comes in my home right now and I shoot them and they're trying to kill me, I'm worried about being able to go to court to defend myself because I'm watching the court system fall apart. And if we don't have that, it's like you're watching all 3 branches of government become compromised by China.
Yeah, and they did a role in this election too.
Absolutely.
As they say, Russia did something in 2016, which they didn't. China definitely had a role to play in this election to elect Joe Biden.
And the most shocking thing is that Eric Swalwell, if anybody's paying attention, now apparently he's linked up with this, Chinese chick who apparently gets around, and she's a Chinese spy. Dianne Feinstein had a driver for 15 years that was a Chinese spy.
Yep.
And then a list comes out. I saw, I think it was an Australian article, because I read newspapers from all over the world, because it's almost like we're getting a firewall here. Once again, like I'm talking about how we're becoming China slowly. If you don't outwardly seek news from like other countries or whatever, it'll never be, it's not on CNN. CNN used to be all over the world. They used to tell you what's going on in Afghanistan. They used to tell you what's going on in Azerbaijan. No, it's just propaganda machine 24/7 about this country. But anyway, a list of CCP operatives was leaked from somewhere. They're in Fortune 500 companies in the United States. They're in the UK in Parliament. Pharmaceutical companies, they are infiltrated everywhere. They're in academia, they're professors. All of these things, you swear allegiance to the party. The party comes first. So like we, the idiots who are like, oh, I don't want to be racist and not hire this guy from China who wants to do my software security, but I don't want to be that guy, so I'm going to hire him. Meanwhile, he's like, thank you very much.
Right.
And this is where we are. The intellectual property gets stolen. The overwhelming influence on everything from the media to, these poor college kids, I want to say, they're just, listen, I was young and impressionable at one time too. If somebody told me every day that socialism is your only answer and you got to be part of the, the push for it, and then history will look back on you as like an amazing person, maybe I would have fell for it, but not now. This is a sad place to be, where we're losing what we thought was the United States.
Well, that's the reason why the America First policy was great, because the Democratic Party is party first. There's not America first. It's party first.
They don't care what they have to do to stay, Democrats, or who they have to, throw under the bus, and, who gets to get away with this stuff. Like for, Nancy Pelosi is basically coming out and now running cover for Eric Swalwell, who for years was involved with the Chinese spy who's on the intelligence committee. It doesn't get any sloppier than that, but the Democrats just slop mop that stuff around, and it's like nothing to see here. And like our opening clip, the media will just repeat, no evidence, no evidence, no evidence, no evidence. And we're like, what?
Yeah, just like last show, again, he's got to declare martial law or never clear up. You got to round all these people up.
You can't fix this.
I never thought I would say that, but you got to round them all up.
You can't fix this through the court system. No. You can't fix this through just pleading for common sense and decency. That's not going to happen. This is like when dad takes his belt off, old school dad takes his belt off and says, you got some licks coming. And are we there? Are they going to literally persecute Trump after office? There is talks of this too. So after Trump leaves office, are they going to sick all dogs, the IRS, the CIA? Can you imagine the Biden administration?
Well, a judge today said the state of New York requested a judge to release more information. Judge said he had to release some information about the Trump organization. So they're going after him. They're going to stick all the dogs they can on him after he leaves office.
Yeah. So here's the thing. If this is the last hurrah for Trump, and he can actually make something happen, he most likely has to invoke martial law and round these dissident, not even saying like dissidents. I don't want to be like a Keith Olbermann who's like, these people must be punished. But we have evidence. I know I personally have more evidence on my phone than probably most people know of these people are lying, cheating, stealing, infiltrating, fake impeachments, fake Russia accusations. We're watching two sides of this. We're watching actual evidence of corruption in Ukraine, actual evidence of money being exchanged between these people, okay, when the accusations of Trump colluding with Russia had no basis ever, and it went on for years.
Right.
So, I mean, how else is Donald Trump going to maintain this country's, like, whatever it has left? And I mean, if he does do it, more power to him. I won't blame him, because I know after office, if Biden gets in and all of this doesn't play out, he's going to have, like, he's going to run himself dry with attorney fees. He's going to be in court in who knows how many states. I mean, the Southern District of New York is the pit bull dog of the left. They have that court packed. They're not worried about that. Every time something needs to be done, it comes up in SDNY, and we know that.
Well,
and
he's a picture, person of the national movement of America First. He has to destroy him. They have to destroy him.
Right. Trump's not going to be able to, just like every other president, right, settle into private life, maybe write a few books, maybe do some speaking. Like if he was like, let's just say Bill Clinton, and post his presidency, he goes on a speaking tour. Right. They're so scared of what he would say. People would pay millions to get Donald Trump to walk in and start speaking. Millions upon millions. Bill Clinton was getting 200,000, 500,000, and people were like, wow, that's amazing. Barack Obama was getting $1 million. Donald Trump would get $10 million. They're so scared to death of what he would say about this leftist movement that they have to take him out. This is literally, he's fighting for his life, and we're fighting for the country via him. I mean, we're watching this all play out in real time.
It is. So let's take a look and see what Keith Olbermann, your favorite person, what he said.
My favorite guy. So level-headed.
All right, here we go.
This is Olbermann versus Trump, and I'm not Trump. As you know, the Supreme Court, including all of Trump's appointees, has now laughed Trump's sedition suit filed by the pardon-seeking Attorney General of Texas out of court. Do not say, of course it has. Do not say, thank God that's over. Do assume that Trump has something else planned. Particularly, watch this just below the radar plot to challenge individual voters in the Electoral College. And never forget that the vast majority of one political party in this country happily signed on in support of overthrowing the duly elected government of the United States. And in particular, remember that this disloyal anti-democracy suit was supported by 126 Republican members of the House of Representatives, including the minority leader, Kevin McCarthy. He's the moron who signed on to the amicus brief just hours before the Supreme Court told the lot of them to F off. Think of these traitorous bastards as members of our government and figure out how we are going to punish them for trying to destroy democracy. Happily, Congressman Bill Pascrell of New Jersey has hit the nail on the head. In the afternoon, he wrote to Speaker Pelosi and asked her when the 117th Congress is sworn in on January 3rd to invoke Section 3 of the 14th Amendment to the Constitution and refuse to seat Minority Leader McCarthy and the others who supported this thwarted coup. That section includes this, quote, "No person shall be a senator or representative in Congress who, having previously taken an oath to support the Constitution of the United States, shall have engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the same or given aid or comfort to the enemies thereof." Can Pelosi actually keep the disloyal 126 out of Congress? Probably not. Can she brand them for life and make it clear to them and the others who will try this again this time or next time that their sedition will be remembered and it will be avenged? You bet your ass. Because a bully does not stop simply because the adult caught him. The bully stops when you hit him harder than he hit you. This is the America Kevin McCarthy wanted, and by God, this is the America he is going to get.
There you go.
Where to begin on just dismantling his whole? I love how these leftists, they love to bring up articles of the Constitution and when it suits them. Right. But what he doesn't realize, the article that he laid out basically incriminates all of the Democrats who ran the fake impeachment, okay, and literally ran the Russia probe up the flagpole too. Adam Schiff, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer. I mean, what's his name? Humpty Dumpty. Damn it. Why can't I remember his name?
I know you're talking about. Yeah.
Why is his name
The
so?
Joker,
Anyway,
not the Joker, but the Riddler or whatever.
yeah, the Penguin.
Penguin.
Yeah. But anyway, all of these guys that quote articles of the Constitution when they think it's going to, oh yeah, Nancy Pelosi, man, she could use this article and these guys are going. But guess what? If that article was really going to be enforced, half of the Democrat Congress, they would be gone for sedition. Because that's what this was.
That's what should happen. And the military police should just round them up.
Yes.
Oberman, Pelosi, Nadler, all those people.
That's it. Jerry
Nadler.
Yes, that's him.
You know, all of them just raid the CNN headquarters, MSNBC, all of them rounded up and then put out of business.
Yeah. And honestly hold them under a military tribunal.
Exactly.
Yes.
You have to do that. I mean, there's no way it cannot happen.
Yeah, this video is probably not going to make it anyway because we're basically calling for the rounding up of criminals. But the sad part is I never thought we'd be here. I never thought we'd be in the position where there's no other option because we've exhausted all the legal channels. We've exhausted all common sense. We're all watching actual evidence and actual criminals not get convicted. I mean, this started back with Hillary. I started to get this taste in my mouth when I watched her smash phone, not her personally, her staff smashed all the phones and she wiped the server while she was under
33,000 emails gone.
Yeah, deleted through. When I saw that and I said, man, if that was me and I was under investigation,
you would be in trouble.
I would be in serious trouble and most likely in jail and not be able to even afford to pay enough lawyers to get myself out. But nothing happens to these people. And I think if Trump does enact this martial law, he will have 72 to 75 million behind him because we all think the same way. We're like, what else can we do to save this country? As we watch them slowly lie to our face and tell us everything's fine. Meanwhile, they're all committing crimes. They're all perjuring themselves. I mean, all these Secretary of States that are certifying these votes, they're all felonies. I mean, you cannot certify votes when you know there is fraud. And the fraud wasn't investigated. They threw it out of their courts. They're colluding together in this weird, I don't even know what their goal is. Actually, I kind of do. I was thinking about this on the drive home. If I wanted to put Satan in office, right? I can't run Satan 2020. Nobody's, well, actually, some people probably would vote for Satan.
No,
but
they
anyway,
would definitely vote for Satan.
Some people probably would. But so I have this nefarious group of people that want to run the country. Well, Joe Biden's perfect. He's a senile old dog. He's got a little bit of brand left in him. And when I want to take him out, once I get him in and now I want to remove him, I have the Ukraine. I have the money laundering. I can say he's senile, that he can't do the job. Like, I have a million ways from Sunday to just remove him. So it's like, thank you for the power. Bye, Joe. So he's the perfect patsy puppet to put in that position if I was this deep, dark force. And I look at Kamala Harris in her recent interviews, it's almost like she's possessed. They ask her questions and she can't answer it without starting that stupid laugh. Like it's almost like she needs time to think and she goes,
She does have
seriously,
a weird laugh.
For our listeners out there, go watch some Kamala Harris interviews. When she's asked a tough question, I forget who it was. It was one of those leftist, propaganda machines. But they said, there's talk of you guys, packing the courts. Is that even on the agenda? Or I know you have a busy agenda in the Biden administration. And she can't answer it. And she can't just go, no, absolutely not. Or, yes, that's our plan. She goes, that's a crazy thing. But she doesn't actually answer questions. She just laughs it off, smiles, and kind of plays this weird, secondary role. But she knows deep down inside, they're going to pull Joe. They're going to pull his plug real quick.
Well, they'll pull him if he don't play ball.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And they have enough dirt on him. And if anyone's watched how the left works, they like people that are dirty. They'll defend people up until the point where they don't need them anymore. And then they'll go, yeah, look at all that dirt on him. Yeah, he's a pedophile. He laundered money. He did all this stuff. And they love to take him down.
Once it's all over CNN, you're getting sold out.
Exactly. Once CNN starts talking about how criminal, corrupt, and oh my God, the Hunter Biden allegations, we can't even ignore it anymore.
It's so true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you know he's done. And that's when you start looking for the Clinton suicide machine to activate. And you'll see like Hunter Biden found in a motel room in Arkansas, you know?
Yeah. All right. Well, we do have Bill and Hillary video here. Of course, the electors met yesterday and they elected Joe Biden as president. Let's take a look at Bill and Hillary in New York.
Yeah.
Stand by for a moment. I want to go to New York State, Albany, New York, right now. They're engaging. Here's the former President Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton, two of the electors in New York
It's
State.
like watching the rats take charge of the cheese warehouse.
Yeah, they said he's about to say engaging. I was thinking engaging in what, you know?
Ugh.
New York State, of course, has 29 electoral.
There we go. So again, all those went to Joe Biden, and Joe Biden won the election, supposedly. Now, Trump is still fighting, but the gas is almost up, by the way.
Yeah, I mean they say in the wings if Rand Paul contests the electors and somebody from the House, maybe Jim Jordan or Nunes, contest the electors, then they go to a caucus, decide if it has merit, and basically every one state gets a vote, and it could go down to that wire. We really don't know where these people are staying, because now another thing of how the left operates, there's a lot of fear. Okay, so the left wants you to fear their abuse of power when they take power. They want you to be like, look, you crossed us, we're gonna F you hard, you're getting it when we get in charge. The right doesn't do that. So, you know, I've watched for a fair amount of years, a lot of people take abuse on the right. And when they do get the majority, right? When they do get the majority in the House and the Senate, do we see runaway, crazy legislation that literally changes America to something that's unrecognizable? No, we really don't. It's not like when the Republicans have a majority, it's like, every man, woman, and child gets a fully automatic rifle, and abortion is absolutely illegal, to the point where if it's going to kill the mother and all. Like, they never go that route. They never go the batshit crazy transformation of this country. But the left is okay with in their statements, we're going to fundamentally transform America. Who the hell wants that? I mean, I don't.
No.
Unreal.
Well, the left says they don't want to change it to China. That's their model.
Yeah.
That's their model. Change it to China, a hybrid capitalist, socialism, communist country. That's what they want.
And even that, like we've talked about that before. So this whole hybrid idea, right? That only works until the elite establish themselves. And once they establish themselves, you get this weird line drawn where it's the lowly workers and then there's the elite. And once that line's established, there's no more hybrid. It's communism. Like, that's how it works. And we watched it, like we watched when communism fell in Russia, where the people who were in charge of the military were basically like, well, who's going to stand up against me if I become the minister of power, or I become the minister of oil and gas, or, they all just stepped into this other elite position. So did communism fall? Yes. But now they have an oligarchy of guys who used to be powerful. Like, I mean, honestly, Putin was like a KGB agent or something, from what I think. I mean, I could be wrong.
He was.
Yeah. So, I mean, these guys assumed power after the fall of communism. We're probably going to see something similar go on in South America. But this whole thing where these dictators take their little elite party with them, the Democrats are all for that. They're okay with being the elite. They've literally played we'll call the people that they pander for votes. They played the black people for decades, that they were going to do something for them, that they were the only ones that cared about them. And if you look at the Democrat performance, nothingness, nothing burger. All the Democrat cities are still crappy like they were back then. And they're still crappy now. And they don't even care that they're going to run them into the ground now, because they have a new idea.
Like I told somebody the other day, I mean, capitalism, if you're a poor person, you can dig yourself out of being poor and become the richest person in the world and be part of the elite. With a socialism, communism model, it's almost impossible to dig yourself out of that.
There's no way out. Actually, you can kill your way up. I mean, if you're really that motivated.
That's true.
I mean, yeah, you could, and that's the other thing. I mean, are these people willing to, do the things that are going to sustain this country, or are they really out to just destroy it? And it's starting to look like they don't care if you know that they're out to destroy it.
Right. That's true. So let's take a look at the Trump rally there, Dave. So there was another rally in D.C.
Yeah.
Stop the steal. Take a look, and Trump was flying over. Take a look.
Yeah.
So, there you go. There he is. See, he heard me call his name. He's a sneaky guy, but he's a fighter. He's a fighter.
Proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the USA!
There you go. Get those flags up. That's pretty cool. It is. I mean, that's pretty cool. The guy can resist the power of prayer. We have felt it in our families' lives over these last really difficult 4 years. These Jericho walls that we are standing now inside of, this deep state, keep that up, yeah. It's nuts.
All right, there we go. So, somebody asked me the other day, why do you guys, Trump supporters chant USA? It's because the left side is all for socialism in China.
Right. And we're just trying to hold on to what exists. Mm-hmm. And if things do need to be tweaked and changed, like you don't burn down your house because, your windows are cracked or something like that. I mean, no one has ever said, at least I have never said, that this country is perfect. I've always watched things that from the outside looked and I said, well, that needs to change because someone's going to abuse power. And I've watched legislators throughout the years, get shot down trying to power grab. But it seems now that the Democrat power grab is embraced by these people who don't even realize that once these Democrats get power, they lose everything, especially like the elites in Hollywood. There's no room for them. They're not going to be the elites because they don't have any effect. No. I mean, honestly, what are they going to make? Like for example, China. China has propaganda movies. I mean, they don't even have like a cinema. Like it's like the monthly propaganda movie has been released, and then they can go watch that. I mean, there are people that down and they stream stuff, and they can go to jail for that. I mean,
they're buying all Hollywood so they can make their own propaganda movies over here too. You can't say anything bad about China. The what was that movie? Red Dawn.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be China invading. And they changed it. So, it's just ridiculous. Let's take a look at the fight here. Let's take a look at the fight. What happened? They had the D.C. rally. Again, let's go back to that. The D.C. rally. I mean, you went to the last D.C. rally, the one before. Yep. Was there? How many people were this latest one? Do you know?
They said it was over 300,000. Okay. But the same thing again. There are reports that, like I said, the DC mayor is a leftist, activist. We'll call her an activist. But the same thing happened again. These fights were kind of directed because if you look at the way DC is laid out, it's very weird. Anybody who's never been to DC, it's very weird layout. They have streets that go east to west from 4 to 6, and then at 7 p.m. they go the opposite direction. I mean, it is what it is. But to direct foot traffic, so basically all of these marches happen where you basically walk up, whatever, Constitution Way to the Supreme Court. It's pretty much a straight shot. I get it. You have to close that road. They close a couple of feeding roads to it, and they should be good. But what's weird is, just like at the one I happened, different roads were closed when you're trying to leave. So instead of having a straight shot back to where your car is, your hotel is, your bus, whatever it may be, now you have to go this way. And who's waiting for you?
Yeah,
these people are waiting for you. They almost this, and it's funny that we're talking about like how they make these propaganda movies, because what I noticed is the BLM people had 4K high def cameras, lighting. They had boom mics because they wanted people to be able to hear what they were saying. Okay, so it's like this was like a production. So like some of the stuff that they were doing was obviously getting edited out, because in this instance, the Proud Boys showed up in massive numbers, probably 5 times the numbers of what I saw when I was there. There was only about 100 when at the rally that I was at, and there was probably 500 there. So they didn't get their ass kicked. They went out, and anyone who tried to steal somebody's flag or spit on old ladies, they got their ass thrown to the ground.
All right. Let's take a look at this video.
All right.
Back. I got you. You got it. He's a good fucking person. He has a knife. Back up. Back up. Back up. Hey, he's here. Back up. Back up. Police, let the whole.
There we go. So the Proud Boys were kicking the Antifa's butt, and they're not Antifa, they're not anti-fascists, they are fascists.
Yeah, they act like
they're the
fascists.
opposite.
Like
Right.
opposing views are not to be tolerated. Look at Keith Olbermann. Like this weird thing that people that oppose you need to be punished, or people that oppose you need to be physically attacked or hurt or something like that. Listen, the Proud Boys didn't exist until this stuff started happening. And then these guys, look, some of their political views are stuff that, listen, you go down that road, you put yourself in a law enforcement environment, you can be charged with stuff. I mean, if people are willing to go down that road, that's fine too. I think we're watching where laws are just being like eroded. There are things that are like, I'm watching the police, and I've backed the blue since this attack on them. But I watch what a mayor can do. I watch what a DC mayor can do, where the police are told block off 3rd, 4th, and 5th and make them go that way. Right. And they have to do it. You know what I mean? So it's like, here we are in a position where they know that, like, wow, this is going to be bad if all these people run into like BLM that's waiting for them. But they let it happen. Yeah.
Just FFY, the Proud Boys are not racist. They have black people, Asian people, Hispanic people.
Yeah.
All kind of races in that group. So
right.
They're definitely not racist.
I think that is the funny part about that, is that because you're American and proud to be one, they tack on this racist connotation. And that doesn't work with any of us. Like, I know you're right. The leader of the Proud Boys, Enrique Taro, he's a black guy. He's a black Cuban guy. Right. There's all races there. There is actually, I saw a female, because apparently, they don't want to hit females. So they brought a female with them who's like an MMA fighter. who I don't think BLM and Antifa were expecting that either.
No.
So there's videos of her out there too, handling her business. But here we are. We have all the makings. We have fights in the streets. Okay, we have people factioning up. Okay, so like this is like the downward slide of a country, and we're all watching this happen in real time. Yep. And we're watching the propaganda machine work. We're watching the Chinese influence into our own Congress. We're watching guys like Eric Swalwell get away with having a spy in his bedroom for years. How the hell did we get here?
Well, another thing, I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but FBI canceled a meeting with Congress today abruptly. Same thing happened before, like a week or two ago. So something's going on with that. I
think so. I mean, I don't know. And we ran, anybody who didn't watch last show, please watch last show. General McEnany, if you go back and you watch some of his stuff, he's been on this for a long time. And he's even saying that in the military, there is a faction of anti-American sentiment. And it's high up. It's not in the lower ranks. It's high up. And that is a scary thing to talk about, that everything we need for a civil war is kind of there on the board. It's like the game of Risk now. It's been taken out of the box. All the players are on the board. It's like we're going to start rolling dice here.
Yeah, that's true. Well, let's take a look. Hopefully the Army's behind us and the Navy. Trump at the Army-Navy game.
Absolutely.
Take a look at this. There we are. So had a good time.
Just from the president.
That's right. Oh boy, Biden would not get that reception.
No, and I mean we're gonna, hopefully I don't have to witness Biden going around to these events. I hope, somehow, some way, God willing, that like this isn't the end of this country. But Biden gets in office. Is he gonna go to the Army-Navy game? No, because they'll be like, boo. I mean, you can't have an un-American president of the United States. Somehow, some way, all the powers and all the force that's out there is pushing this guy into a place where he doesn't belong. And that's Joe Biden. He doesn't belong there. No. He's under investigation in Ukraine. I mean, his son's money laundering and under investigation for that. And let's see what happens if a Biden administration gets in. Miraculously, my son is not guilty of anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Of course, they're talking about it now on CNN. They didn't talk about it before the election. So let's talk about the new strain in UK as far as the virus.
Yeah.
Of course, we got the vaccine. Supposedly in Australia, they pulled the vaccine because it's calling people who have HIV.
Yeah, that's weird, man. People are testing positive for it. And
I don't know. And then now they're rolling out to all the health workers a Pfizer vaccine now. They're about to approve the Moderna company's vaccine.
Yeah, the Moderna, I think.
Moderna, yes. Thank you.
Moderna.
And then so here's the new strain that's going on. That's supposed to be more highly contagious in the UK. Take a look at this.
Right.
There's the circle. Of course, I think it's been around everywhere, around the world probably, but
yeah,
that's what they're saying. That's where it started, in that area.
Yeah.
And so that's what's going on with that. Then we have a mystery illness in India still. We have a news report about that. Let's take a look, okay?
In the year of COVID-19, another illness is stumping doctors.
At least one person is dead and hundreds more still sick after a mystery illness spreads through a town in India over the weekend. This happened in the town of Eluru in southern India. Doctors say
they don't know what's wrong with them. The illness was detected Saturday night. Since then,
Patients reported a range of symptoms, including seizures, loss of consciousness, and nausea.
more than 150 people are still in the hospital this morning with the illness.
Officials are trying to determine the cause. So far, water samples from impacted areas haven't shown any signs of contamination.
Doctors say it is not COVID-19, even though the country has the world's second highest number of infections right now.
As we've seen over the last several decades, epidemics and pandemics have been emerging and spreading with greater and greater frequency. But I don't think we have any reason to be alarmed at this point. We just need to do our homework and find out a bit more.
Of course, I don't trust her. She is Biden's on the advisory council for Biden.
Exactly. And that's the other funny thing about, you look at this Biden administration, or the people that he's picking, they're basically people that are either the Obama administration part 2, okay, or people that are heavily involved in like big tech, Facebook, Google, stuff like that. I mean, he's surrounding himself with people that are protected, so to speak.
Does Buttigieg know anything about transportation?
Apparently, he's good enough to be, the
I mean, I don't understand. I mean, I don't think he has any background at all, or any kind of, I don't know.
They said one of Mayor Pete's biggest accomplishment in I think it was Indiana or something like that. He repaved the walkway into a park with these special bricks and everything, and everybody loved it. So I think that is what got him.
Well, of course, because you have to walk. It's transportation. You have to walk.
It's transportation. Yeah, he repaved the walkway into a park. So I mean, what more do you need?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. And then we got Kerry's going to be ahead of the climate change.
Of course. I mean, John Kerry. I think if anybody needed to be protected, it's John Kerry is connected to all of this too, which is crazy. And you're watching these people kind of gel together that are all involved in these money laundering things, and Kerry Hines and Devin Archer and all this stuff. Now all of a sudden he's just surrounding himself with these people. So it'll become, you can't investigate my cabinet.
Oh yeah, that's off limits. Well, I don't know. So I mean, he's going to have to round these people up before January the 6th. Actually,
I hope so. I hope the night of January 5th. I hope what everybody says is true. January 1st, they shut off the internet. There's no TV, and we don't even know what's happening. And January 5th, everybody's rounded up, and here we go. Military tribunals on TV.
Maybe Trump's giving us a Christmas present. Maybe
that'd be awesome. I'll take it.
Yes. All right. Well, that's the show tonight. I thank you for watching. Bill, do you have any last words?
I still got my fingers crossed. I'm one of the guys that says I don't think this is over yet. I'm hoping that there are good powers working against bad ones, and we win.
Great. Well, thanks for watching. Thanks for all the new subscribers.
Absolutely.
Our video did last week. It's amazing. But
like and share, because sharing is caring, everyone.
Please do. Good night.
Good night, everyone.